I'm Monique Carter, Principal of Lansdowne Crescent Primary School in West Hobart. The greatest joy that you get from this job is the results and the impact that you have on student learning. And being a very hands-on principal, one who's in classrooms all the time talking to the students about their learning, I can directly see the impact that we are having on staff learning, the impact that that's having on student learning outcomes, and that's where you see your results. One of the key roles that I have in school is to know all of my students, to have a relationship with each one of my students. It's really essential that they feel comfortable, that they know their principal and their principal knows them, because that's what it's all about in this place. It's about the students who are here as happy, engaged learners, and our connection to them is vital in that process. To be a good principal, you need to have a problem-solving mindset, because there'll be a new issue that arises that you've never had to deal with before. So being able to approach that really calmly, pull it apart and come up with a creative solution that really works for everybody. Be a great teacher, you have to know your students really well, you have to know your curriculum really well, you have to know your pedagogy really well. So to be a great leader, those three things still are the important questions. You have to know your students, and in my case that's my staff as well as the students. I have to know my curriculum, my content, what is the direction that we want to head into, and I have to know my pedagogy. What is the way that I'm going to be most effective in leading us in our next bit of work? Good change and good embedded practice takes a long time to get to. There's not a quick fix. So it's really important that you are prepared to give something time, and that you set about setting up great goals and great evaluation measures at the start that will give you insight into the changes you've made in teacher capacity and student learning outcomes. I think it's absolutely key that when you're learning to be a principal or aspiring to be a principal is that you have good learning in the management side of the role. And I firmly believe that if you get that side right, then leading the learning becomes much easier in the school and much more seamless. The qualities that I would look for in an aspiring leader, first of all, would be that they were a really good teacher, that they would be a person who had really good interpersonal skills and a good communicator, an effective communicator, a person that's really well organised, has good whole school awareness, a person who's a good problem solver, a person who is willing to think flexibly and creatively, a person who has tackled some of the tricky things within a school and has shown that they've got courage and tenacity and resilience. I love that Tim Minchin quote, be a teacher, please be a teacher, please be a teacher. And I think that's a quote we can use for principals. Please be a principal. It's a great job. The joy that you get in being a principal far outweighs some of those tricky and those complex things that will come up. Surround yourself with great people. Have an appreciative inquiry mindset, because that will foster those positive, energetic relationships back to you, which will just help the momentum on your journey grow. So yeah, please be a principal.